1971, 78 Stat. 675. 85 Stat. Public Law 92-200 December 17, 1971 665 F. Central Valley Project, Delta Division, Montezuma Hills Unit in southern Solano County, California. G. Gallup Project in McKinley, Valencia, and San Juan counties in New Mexico. H. Modification of the Semino Dam, Kendrick Project, Wyoming. I. Butte Valley Division, Klamath Project in the Klamath River Basin, Klamath County, Oregon, and Siskiyou County, California. J. Billings Municipal Water Supply Unit, Yellowstone Division, Pick Sloan Missouri River Basin Program, Montana. Approved December 15, 1971. Public Law 92-200. NACT. December 17, 1971. To amend certain provisions of Subtitle II of Title 28, District of Columbia Code, S. 1938, relating to interest and usury. Be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled, that the text of District of Section 28-3301 of Subtitle II of Title 28, District of Columbia Code, is degree IETC EJR pro-amended to read as follows. Tection Act of. Except as otherwise provided in Section 28-3308, and Chapter 36 of this subtitle, the parties to an instrument in writing for the payment of N.Ra. money at a future time may contract therein for the payment of degree P interest on the principal amount thereof at a rate not exceeding 8% per annum. SEC. 2. The text of Clause 2 in the first sentence of Section 28-3303 of Subtitle II of Title 28, District of Columbia Code, is amended to read as follows. 2. In writing, to pay a greater rate than is permitted under Section 28-3301 or 28-3308 or under Chapter 36 of this subtitle, the creditor shall forfeit the whole of the interest so contracted to be received. SEC. 3. Chapter 33 of Subtitle II of Title 28, District of Columbia Code, is amended by adding the following section, D(C) D(2)J. Section 28-3308. Finance charge on direct installment loans degree on a loan in which the principal does not exceed $25,000 other than a loan directly secured on real estate or a direct motor vehicle installment loan covered by Chapter 36 of this subtitle, to be repaid in equal or substantially equal monthly, or other periodic, installments, any federally insured bank or savings and loan association doing business in the District of Columbia may contract for and receive interest at the rate permitted under this chapter or, in lieu of such interest, a finance charge, which, if expressed as an annual percentage rate, does not exceed a rate of %% per annum on the unpaid balances of principal. This section does not limit or restrict the manner of contracting for the finance charge, whether by way of discount, add-on or simple interest, so long as the annual percentage rate of the finance charge does not exceed that permitted by this section. B. If such installment loan is precomputed. 666 Public Law 92-200 DEC. 17, 1971 85 Stat. 1. The finance charge may be calculated on the assumption that all scheduled payments will be made when due, and 2. Except as provided in subsection C upon prepayment in full of the unpaid balance of a precomputed direct installment loan, refinancing, or consolidation, an amount not less than the unearned portion of the finance charge calculated according to this section shall be rebated to the debtor. If the rebate otherwise required is less than $1, no rebate need be made. C. Upon prepayment in full of such direct installment loan other than a refinancing or consolidation, whether or not precomputed, the lender may collect or retain a minimum charge within the limits stated in this section if the finance charge earned at the time of prepayment is less than any minimum charge contracted for. The minimum charge may not exceed the smaller of the following. 1. The amount of the finance charge contracted for, or 2. $5 in a transaction which had a principal of $75 or less, or $7.50 in a transaction which had a principal of more than $75. D. The unearned portion of the finance charge is a fraction of the finance charge of which the numerator is the sum of the periodic balances scheduled to follow the computational period in which the prepayment occurs, and the denominator is the sum of all periodic balances under either the related loan agreement or, if the balance owing resulted from a refinancing or a consolidation, under the related refinancing agreement or consolidation agreement. Definitions. E. As U.S. CD in this section, finance charge, and annual percentage rate, shall have the respective meanings under the provisions of the 84 Stat. 112.6. Truth in Ludig Act, 82 Stat. 146 et seq. 15 U.S.C. 1601 et seq. And the regulations and interpretations thereunder, and Federally Insured Banker Savings and Loan Association, means an insured bank as 64 Stat. 873. Defined in Section 3 of the Federal Deposit Insurance Act or in 12 U.S. 1813. Insured institution, as defined in Section 401 of the National Housing 48 Stat. 1255, Act, 78 STA, 66, S:(4 Subtitle 2 of Title 28, District of Columbia Code, is amended D.C. Code 28 by adding at the end thereof the following chapters. Chapter 36. Direct Motor Vehicle Installment Loans. Section 285601. Direct Motor Vehicle Installment Loans. The provisions of the Act approved April 22, 1960, Public Law. C** CQJJ 40.8-31, 74 Stat. 69. D.C. Code, 1967 ed., Chapter 9 of Title 40, Cover 901. Ing Installment Sales of Motor Vehicles, as amended, and the Regula. Tions issued thereunder, shall apply to the extent appropriate to, a direct installment loan, secured by a security interest in a motor vehicle, made by a federally insured banker savings and loan association doing. Post, page 667. Business in the District of Columbia, subject to Section 283602. 85 Stat. Public Law 92, 200 Dec. 17, 1971-667. Section 283602. Finance Charge. Such a bank or savings and loan association may contract for and receive interest at the rate provided for in Chapter 33 or, in lieu of such Asterisk. P:*5. Interest, a finance charge which, if expressed as an annual percentage rate, does not exceed a rate of 111% per annum on the unpaid balances of principal. Section 2 and -3603. Definitions. As used in this chapter, finance charge, and annual percentage rate, shall have the respective meanings under the provisions of the Truth in Lending Act, 82 Stat. 146 et seq. 15 U.S.C. 1601 et seq. 84 Stat. E26, and the regulations and interpretations thereunder, and Federally Insured Banker Savings and Loan Association, means an insured bank as defined in Section 3 of the Federal Deposit Insurance Act or in 64 Stat. 873. Insured institution, as defined in Section 401 of the National Housing J. Court, S. Stat. 1255. 12 U.S.C. 1724. Chapter 37. Revolving Credit Accounts. Section 283701. Definitions. As used in this chapter. 1. Revolving credit account means an arrangement between a seller or financial institution and a buyer pursuant to which a. The seller may permit the buyer to purchase goods or services on credit either from the seller or by use of a credit card or other device, whether issued by the seller or a financial institution. B. The unpaid balances of amounts financed arising from purchases and the credit service and other appropriate charges are debited to an account. C. A credit service charge if made is not pre-computed but is computed on an outstanding unpaid balance of the buyer's account from time to time, and D. The buyer has the privilege of paying the balances in full or in installments. 2. Credit service charge means the sum of a. all charges payable directly or indirectly by the buyer and imposed directly or indirectly by the seller as an incident to the extension of credit, including any of the following types of charges which are applicable: time price differential, service, carrying or other charge, however denominated, premium or other charge for any guarantee or insurance protecting the seller against the buyer's default or other credit loss. B. Charges incurred for investigating the collateral or creditworthiness of the buyer or for commissions or brokerage for obtaining the credit, irrespective of the person to whom the charges are paid or payable, unless the seller had no notice of the charges when the credit was granted. 3. Seller means a person engaged in the District of Columbia in the business of selling goods or services to retail buyers. 4. Buyer means a person who buys goods or obtains services. 668 Public Law 92-200 DEC. 17, 1971 85 Stat. From a seller pursuant to a retail credit sale and not principally for the purpose of resale, and includes a person who enters into a prior agreement with a financial institution whereby the latter agrees to pay the debts of the buyer as they accrue at various retail sellers, designated by the financial institution, in consideration of the buyer paying to the financial institution the cash sales price plus the credit service charge on the purchase. 5. Person includes any individual, partnership, corporation, association, trust, joint stock company, or any other group of persons however organized. 6. Financial institution means a person who enters into an agreement with a buyer whereby the former agrees to extend credit to the buyer and to apply it as directed by the buyer pursuant to a credit card issued to the buyer by the financial institution, and this term includes any federally insured bank as defined. 64 Stat. 873. In Section 3 of the Federal Deposit Insurance Act doing business 12 Use 1813. IJ-TJ-, District of Columbia. Section 28 3702. Amount and computation of credit service charge. The seller or financial institution may contract for the payment by the buyer of a credit service charge not exceeding that permitted by this section. B. A credit service charge may be made in each billing cycle. For the purpose of computing the outstanding balance subject to the credit service charge, 1. The outstanding balance on any day shall consist of an amount which shall not exceed the sum of the total charges to the account less the amounts paid or credited to the account prior to such day, or 2. The outstanding balance may be computed by the average daily balance method. The credit service charge may also be computed for all outstanding balances within a range of not in excess of $10 on the basis of the median amount within such range. If as so computed, such credit service charge is applied to all outstanding balance within such range. C. If the billing cycle is monthly, the charge may not exceed V% of that part of the outstanding balance which is $500 or less and 1% on that part of this amount which is more than $500. If the billing cycle is not monthly, the maximum charge is that percentage which bears the relation to the applicable monthly percentage as the number of days in the billing cycle bears to 30. For the purposes of this section, a variation of not more than 4 days from month to month is the same day of the billing cycle. Chapter 38. Consumer Protections. Section 283801. Scope. Limitation on agreements and practices. This chapter applies to actions to enforce rights arising from a consumer credit sale or a direct installment loan. Ante. Page. 666. 85 Stat. Public Law 92-200 DEC. 17. 1971, 669. Section 283802. Definitions. As used in this chapter. 1. Revolving credit account means a revolving credit account as defined in Section 283701 of this subtitle. Asterisk. P. 2. Consumer credit sale means a sale of goods or services in which a. Credit is granted by a person who regularly engages as a seller in credit transactions of the same kind. B. The buyer is a natural person. C. The goods or services are purchased primarily for a personal, family, household, or agricultural purpose. D. Either the debt is payable in installments or a finance, charge is made, and E. The amount financed does not exceed $25,000. The term includes any contract in the form of a bailment or lease if the bailee or lessee contracts to pay as compensation for use a sum substantially equivalent to or in excess of the aggregate value of the property and services involved, and it is agreed that the bailee or lessee will become, or for no other or nominal consideration £, as the option to become, the owner of the property upon full compliance with his obligations under the contract. 3. Direct installment loan means a direct installment loan as that term is used in Section 28.3308 of this subtitle and does P:5 not include a loan secured on real estate or a direct motor vehicle installment loan covered by Chapter 36 of this subtitle. 4. Cross-collateral means an arrangement wherein a seller in a consumer credit sale secures a debt arising from the sale by contracting for a security interest in other property if as a result of a prior sale the seller has an existing security interest in the other property. The seller may also contract for a security interest in the property sold in the subsequent sale as a security for the previous debt. Section 28.3803. Balloon payments. With respect to a consumer credit sale or direct installment loans except for revolving credit accounts. 1. No creditor shall at any time enter into an agreement which contains or anticipates a schedule of payments under which any one payment is not equal or substantially equal to all other payments, excluding any final payment which is less than the average of previous payments or any down payment received by the creditor contemporaneously with or prior to the consummation of the transaction, or under which the intervals between any consecutive payments differ substantially. 2. Notwithstanding any provision of this section, where a consumer's livelihood is dependent upon seasonal or intermittent income, the parties may agree in a separate writing that one or more payments or the intervals between one or more payments may be reduced or expanded in accordance with the needs of the consumer if such payments are expressly related to the consumer's income. The separate writing shall contain a conspicuous notice directly above the signature line stating, "I waive my right to have all payments to be made under this agreement in substantially equal amounts." 3. In the event that the provisions of paragraph 2 apply, the consumer shall have the right at any time, without further cost or obligation, to revise the schedule of payments to conform both as to amounts and intervals to the average of all installments and intervals.